So he is the author of Stories and Centaurs, forthcoming from Strange Machine Books. His work has recently appeared in Jellyfish, Front Porch, and a Graying Ghost pamphlet, and he holds an MFA from the New School, Francesco Grisanzio. Oh, he gave me the worst face when I said that. But please, give it up for him, it's gonna be great.
Moving around is much more better. Still nothing. There we go. Thanks for having me. Cheryl. Nobody likes Cheryl, and rightly so. Anyone in town can tell you about how much she complains, her whooping laugh, or how bad she smells. Oh God, the smell. In general, Cheryl is terrible. In fact, her neighbors like to say that she's Cheryl-able. Birch trees are constantly dying excruciating deaths. You might think their bark is indicative of this, but that's a lie. You can tell they're suffering in their phlegmy coughs and mutters. They're always griping, using extreme quiet to hear it. Even bird shadow will drown it out. Try firing a gun to silence the woods. You should never listen to birch trees, though. They're selfish and will guilt you into buying them sparkling water and hard candies. Everything had become way too real. My relationship with my mother had always been real, but now was excruciating. The clouds, too, were the most real I had ever seen, with the nauseating, fluffy logos. I needed to catch my breath, put my head between my knees. Mom, I said, make the clouds stop. So now you need me, she said. The train and the mine shaft formed a union. The public was outraged by the overt sexual metaphor. The train and the mine shaft defended themselves on a small stage. Who are you to judge, they said. Not one of you cruel spirits is decent. And that's all it took for the protesters to realize how utterly naked they were, how they were really already waiting for the invention of clothing. The president was received with ticker tape and a band of local school children playing Hail to the Chief. When the fanfare settled, the president arrived and was greeted with an encore. Then, the president arrived, and again, sensation. The kids were so excited they didn't miss a beat. A stream of presidents fed into the gymnasium all night, all impossibly tall and better described as beautiful and handsome. Surrounded by them, I felt like I could be the president, that I already was the president. Yes, this was my due when I became a citizen. I stacked a chair on a table and stood on my tiptoes and tugged on the president's pant leg. When the president finished leaning over, I told him that I too was the president, and had arrived late, and it was a pleasure to meet him. I couldn't hear him as the school children started up again, but his great sliding loafer was crystal clear. I was sectioned off for the vice presidents without a vote to call my own. This one has a title, Angry Town. Goddamn leaf, why would you fall? Why now? Why ever? You are scum, Robert said. Hey, stop shouting at that piece of shit leaf, Charles said. It fell off the goddamn tree, Robert said, and I am sick of it. I've got a family, I don't need this. That prick, thinking he could float over my streets, using my wind, photosynthesizing with my light. No more, Charles said, and threw a trash can at the tree. Hey everybody, this tree's gotta learn the hard way. People came leaking through doors and windows so fast they got stuck in the frames and began brawling. A car making a beeline for the tree hit the curb and flipped. Everything was on fire. Never forget, Robert said, and as he shook a branch he was perched on until it snapped. Charles howled and bit Robert around the face. Blood splashed so much it was mistaken for the fire. Mistakes are a kind of unintentional lie, and no one likes to be lied to. In his later years, Grandpa became vocal about the phrase, larger than life. When you've been around as long as me, Grandpa would say, you'd see its bupkis. Life isn't that large. Plenty of things are there. This room, life can fit very comfortably in here. That life-size model of the whale in the museum, astronomical next to life itself. Hell, I've seen a life or two you could lose in a thimble. You got it, Grandpa would say. We'll visit again real soon. The terrifying children performed songs for the townspeople that would seem innocent in other contexts, but were miserably creepy here. They opened with Ring Around the Rosie, which is notorious for having pretty grim lyrics. They came off as unscholarly brand. The terrifying children actually got a few boos for it. The townspeople were terrible in their own way, making children cry. So maybe they deserved it when the children broke into a haunting rendition of Your Grand Old Flag. No one was prepared for those calm, chilling harmonies, or for when the bandstand vomited blood. A little demonic, pitch-perfect sweetheart took the melody on when summer is gone. There wasn't an eye left in the house. The difficulty in being a whale is language. Sand-kicking teens point at you from the coast and holler whale, but you know they mean fat. And all that talk about harvesting blubber is over that time Sandy broke up with you on the way to Thad's party, and it came pouring out of you in the living room, and everyone went outside to keep chatting. Oh, to swallow so much air you're content without words, to dive so deep Sandy's calves would cramp. It took us a while to notice the kids had stopped growing. But when we did, we all said, you know what? Good for you. We all resent that our youths were scars we hadn't realized we left in a restaurant the next day as we were getting ready to go out. When we're all old and popping apart at the joints and there's only you types in the world, we'll worry about it. We hope you all live forever and never concern yourselves with breeding or updating indecency laws. By all means, enjoy. There's nothing surprising about us all learning to say this. We've been hearing it on the radio constantly, and it's only human to repeat it like a pop hook. It became our mantra to see us into the pebbly dust, confused for so many little piggies. The star-crossed lovers got their shit together and became regular star lovers. The boy felt so bland. He loved it. He loved her. The girl, though, she was into Bauhaus and thought glam was corny. Actually, it was more like she fondly remembered being into Bauhaus and the dance shoes and that sort. She had too much on her mind those days to be into anything. The girl wrote the boy a breakup letter, what we now call the night sky. If you read it, you'd call it curt. I threw open the private compartment's door. Skeletons. The whole train. Skeletons. They don't mind if I join them, I thought. They're dead. I really wanted to sit by this point, and manners were an afterthought. But as I was finding a place for my suitcase, it dawned on me. The skeletons aren't dead. The people they were inside of are dead. And I wondered if they remembered blushing. Animal parts were spewing up from the floorboards like a geyser. Not that this was news. The chunks and splinters had long broken off when we were sanding them on and sawing dinosaurs. We should build a market or factory around this, I said. It's bone-in oil. We need a neck, you said. There's entrails in the crossbeam and lips on my face. I'm particular about lips, and these are overripe. Oh, I've got it, I said. We'll do a publicity campaign with a dance for our new business. It'll involve loose elbows and gyrations. I call it the unification of species through dismemberment, the new man and his goodness in the post-war era. I was on all fours and kicking my back legs. I was getting excited. Look at me go, I continued. This is where art meets advertisement. The kids will want to enter this discussion. Let's do a tie-in music video that promotes recycling. Wait, call the dance of dismemberment under men's behest. That's still unification towards totality. And play ignorant of the acronym DUMBUT. Butts are very low brow. Parents will discuss this with their children. We're promoting family and morals through domestic conference. Hugh reached into the card stream for a morsel and stroked my hair while it fed me. I like Hugh. He used just the right amount of pressure. Scratched just the right places. The space station was cold and alone until it approached the sun. Hey man, the space station said. Can I borrow your hoodie? Space is like freezing. No go, little broseph, the sun said. Left it at Chelsea's. I think she sleeps with her or something. Girl's clean, but you know, she's cool. Awesome at making out. Sick, man, the space station said. That's sick. So, listen, you know anything going on today? I've just been dicking around Earth's orbit and it's wicked lame. No chicks, no brews, just floating in circles. Dude, the son said, you're setting me up for like a million Uranus jokes. Stop. Yeah, the space station said. Okay, yeah. I've been falling down these stairs for what feels like a million years, but it's probably only been a couple thousand. I've got so many questions like, what's the War of 1812 about? And how calculus? Because these stairs have a terrible educational system. Sometimes I wonder, is this one of those the ground feels flat but the earth is round type of things? And then, I hope this is a real staircase and not some loop with wonky gravity. That'd be embarrassing. Sometimes I can't help but shout out, please don't be recursive, please don't be recursive, please don't be recursive. Last one. The chief of police was joining us for dinner. We were having salad. It was too hot for anything heavier. The chief said, as citizens, you deserve an apology. Theft has gone out of control. We appreciate the sentiments, Suzanne said, but it doesn't help. Thieves are everywhere, I said, and they've gotten bolder. It used to be that I could just flutter the lights and they'd scatter out the windows. But now look at them. Snaking around the chair legs, drawing out our shoelaces, eating our dinner pinch by pinch. They took the ceiling fan one blade at a time and grabbed the lampshades before coming back for the lamps. Then the bulbs. See, one just got my shirt, and he can keep it. Just a sweaty rag at this point. I'm terribly sorry, the chief said, truly am. But we've tried everything. Nets, pages, even adhesive strips. Nothing's worked. And now there's no money to try anything else. We can't raise taxes again, there'd be a revolt. No point anyway, it ended up stolen like the rest of it. I'll tell you what they've stolen, Suzanne said. My patience. That's actually what I want to talk to you about, the chief said. We're asking you to grit your teeth just a bit longer. We brought in some people who estimate the thieves will have stolen everything within the month. They say a few days after the thieves take the walls and carpeting, they'll snatch up your patience too. I know I can't ask much of you at that point, but they say your anger will be taken only an hour from their tops. A pair of thieves scurried across the table. One scratched a bead of sweat from the chief's forehead while the other opened a pocket to catch it. The chief swatted at them with a napkin. One of the thieves hissed and the other yanked the napkin out of the chief's hand as they jumped to the floor. I'm told, the chief said, they'll take your concept of ownership fairly close to the end, but it'll be unnoticeable at that point. Will they, I began to ask, but the chief interrupted. No, they won't come for your lives. They may be heartless, but they have the code. Thanks.